Hey there, welcome back to the vlog. It's spooky season, and as a horror movie and autumn enthusiast, I'm excited to work on some easy Halloween DIYs and thrift flips. We are going to make some flying ghosts, a bat installation, and make over a thrifted wreath, but make it scary. First up, let's get batty. I want to create an explosion of bats on the door and going up the wall in the hallway to my bathroom. Here are some of the inspiration photos for my DIY. I printed out a bunch of bats and I'm gonna cut them out and use them for the installation. They are a variety of sizes. These are a little small maybe, but I think these and these will work. I printed them on cardstock so that the ends won't curl up. And I'm gonna just start cutting out the bats while I'm watching Wednesday. Have you watched this before? I think I'm really late. My friends were talking about it the other day and they're like, I can't believe you haven't watched this show. It's not for kids or something. So I started watching it and it's actually pretty good, which is probably like not new information. But I am going to watch Wednesday and I'm going to cut out some bats while I hang out with Coco. Future Megan jumping in via voiceover to tell you that past Megan is going to make her life a lot easier in about 20 minutes. She's going to cut the bats out with the white paper behind the bats. Not only will this cut down on cutting time, but it will make the taping of the bats a lot easier because their little wings and points won't need to be taped down. The wall is white, like Ben Moore Chantilly lace white paint, so the white paper will blend in. Past Megan will show you, and it will all make sense. Only about 4 million more to go. Look at that. See this? Didn't we find that at the thrift store when I was doing the fall video? I swear we did. I swear we found that little box. I've cut out a bunch of the bats. I ended up cutting them out in these kind of chunks and clumps, which is going to make my life easier, I think. But we'll find out in a few minutes because I'm going to start putting them on the wall. And I believe I already told you guys in my last video that I wanted it to look like they're kind of coming out of the bathroom. So I'm going to try to go for an effect where they're like emerging from the door and then going up into the ceiling. And that's as far as I've got right now in terms of my thought process. So I think it's just going to be a little trial and error now. Normally for a project like this, I would use double-sided tape that is meant for posters and hanging other things like paper materials on the wall. I don't have it right now. I can't find it. I think I just ran out and forgot to order more. I'm going to use painter's tape in the meantime, and it shouldn't damage my walls or take off any paint. Bat one. Doesn't look like much of anything right now. Every year I host a Nightmare Club Halloween edition party. Friends come over, we have snacks, and we watch horror movies together. We don't have anything picked out yet, so if you have a suggestion for this year's movie, please sound off in the comments. So just see how it's going like from the doorknob, and it's gonna kind of swoop up like that. Swoop up and then disappear into the ceiling. like they're escaping into a skylight that I don't have. But you know, we're using our imaginations. Okay, I need to cut out a lot more to fill this in and get up there. I think I have enough, but I want to cut out more of the bigger chunks and then some of the little guys to go on the side up there. For my second DIY, I want to make a bunch of ghosts. I want to hang some from my ceiling and sprinkle them around my apartment. I also want the option to gift them to my Nightmare Club Halloween edition party guests. Here are some of the inspiration photos for my DIY. Today we're making ghosts, and here are my supplies. I have scissors, I have some foam balls, I have shish kebab skewers, you'll see why. I have pipe cleaners, white preferably, because I think if you got ones that had color on them, if there was color transfer, that might not be the look you're going for. Some cheesecloth. I have a little tray for where I'm going to make the glue mixture. Glue, the water, aluminum foil, some tape, and this plant. You'll see why. First step, take your skewer. The skewer is going to be the backbone of your ghost, and the foam ball is going to be the head of your ghost. So you're going to take the head and put it on top of the skewer. Kind of impaled your little guy right there. It looks a little crooked. Now we've got the head on our ghost, and we're going to need some arms. So we're going to take the pipe cleaner, and you're just going to wrap it around kind of close to the top, like maybe an inch or so from the head. And you're just going to wrap it around. I'm wrapping it twice just to try to make it a little more secure. And we need to shorten his arms. I'm not making a huge ghost, so I'm going to make these little curly cues on each side. He kind of looks like that. And I'm gonna pull them forward a little bit because I want to make him look like he's reaching towards the viewer. This is going to be his front. This is him facing me. So I'm going to have his arms out like this. And now I'm going to put him in the plant. I put aluminum foil on the plant just in case any of the glue mixture drips off. So far, it hasn't done that too much, but it's just an extra precaution. Taking a small piece of aluminum foil. This doesn't matter that it's imperfect because no one's going to see this. I'm going to wrap this around his skeleton, his spine. I pulled some tape off to secure it, but this is not, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to look amazing. No one's going to see this. This is just for the DIY. So I'm just going to tape the aluminum foil on the bottom a little bit to try to keep it in place. I want it to be, maybe an inch or so away from his arms. See how it's just a little bit of tape securing the bottom. Now for the fun part or the gross part, that's up to you. This is a sheet of cheesecloth. I cut it into this size. Again, this is you call it, depending on how big you want your ghost to be. You may want a bigger piece, or you may want a smaller piece if you're making tiny little ghosts. I mixed 1 part glue and 1 part water, just eyeballed it. It doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think, just sticky enough. I soak the cheesecloth in the mixture, and then I'm going to squeeze out as much as I can. I want it to be completely wet, but I don't want it to be soaked because that is going to take a long time to dry and it's going to be dripping everywhere. It's just unnecessary. So squeeze out as much as you can. And then I'm going to drape it over our little friend. You're probably already thinking, oh no, it's not covering his arms. Don't worry about it. We're gonna do a second layer of cheesecloth so we can cover up anything we didn't get the first time. If you want more flare at the bottom, make sure that you're utilizing the skirt. So see how I'm just like setting it on there. Once it dries, it's gonna sit just like that. And then put it over the ghost. Now I'm gonna cover the arm that we sort of missed before. I say we, you guys are here in spirit. That's a Halloween pun for you. If you want to make him look more weathered, let's say, like an older ghost who's seen some real stuff, you can fray this more at the bottom. I just want to get him set because he's going to dry like this. I left my other guys for about 24 hours and they're pretty dry, but I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I take out the skirt because that's not staying. So this is what he looks like. And you can just play with it a little bit if you want, you know, him to look different. Now's your time to sculpt, if you will. All right, that's our ghost friend. Not to be confused with ghost face, that's different.
What's your favorite scary movie?
In total, I think I made 7 flying ghosts, 3 for hanging from the ceiling and the rest for putting in planters or vases and on a thrifted wreath. More on that later, but let's finish the ghost project with a few standing ghosts. I cut the skewers in half and started the same process that I used to create the flying ghosts. However, the standing ghosts won't have skirts. Instead, the cheesecloth will gather on the floor. Once the wet glue mixture dries and hardens in place, the ghosts should stand upright. I can use these standing ghosts as tabletop decor. So I'm going to put this in there, put the skewer in there to hold it in place. I'm also going to cut the cheesecloth into slightly smaller pieces than the flying ghosts had, because I don't think the standing ghosts are going to need that much cheesecloth. And then draping it over the top. All right, now I'm just going to play with the bottom. What's going to keep him standing is his sheet, the cheesecloth. So I do want to make sure that that's in contact with the tin foil, with whatever they're standing on, so that when it's removed, he can just stand on his own. It has been over 24 hours for all of the ghosts, and it has been over 48 hours for some of them. I've removed the tin foil from the bottoms of a few of them, but I can show you. It's just easy. Just removing, trying not to hold their little heads and just pulling the tin foil out of the bottom. One of the things we're going to attempt to do as we complete the ghost is to draw little eyeballs on them. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous because while the project was very easy, I did have to let it set for a while, and I don't want to ruin it now. All right, we've got the little pen. Let's do some little eyes. Oh yeah, I don't love how it's running everywhere. It's not horrible, but it is bleeding. You see that? I think I like them without the eyeballs. It could be that this pen is just bad. Oh, it's kind of cute. More like teardrop oval looking eyes. Ooh. Okay. So there he is. My little flying ghost friend. Now I'm going to hang some of the ghosts from the ceiling so that it looks like they're flying. I'm going to use some thread to attach them to the ceiling. There's one guy. He's just hanging with some thread from the ceiling. I have a few more, so I think maybe I'll do another 2 in here. I like an odd number. You guys did not see me thrift this yet. I haven't shown you that video. I actually thrifted this for Thanksgiving, and I found the exact version of this wreath on Amazon. I put it in my Amazon store, so in case you are like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this wreath, you can get it. I think it's maybe $18. This I thrifted at an American thrift for $4. Remember this guy with the little eyes? And I was like, oh, I don't love him that much. But then I was like, oh, maybe he's cute. I'm not gonna get rid of him, but he is the only one that I put eyeballs on, or eye holes on. So I'm gonna put him on this wreath. Now, as you probably know, I live in an apartment in New York. And if you do the math on that, you've probably realized I don't have a ton of space. So as I recommended in my common renter problems video, everything needs to do double duty. So this is not just for Thanksgiving, it's going to be for all of fall, but this is a Halloween DIY video. So let's make him spooky. I'm gonna take a little white thread and I'm just gonna sew the ghost so that he fits inside, so it looks like he's kind of hovering in the middle of the wreath, not dead center, because that looks, I don't know, not the look I want. I want it to be a little off kilter. I feel like that makes it more organic. It makes it more like I made it and not like Target mass produced them and everybody's in the bullseye. You know what I mean? Love Target, but that's not what I want. I want it to look unique. I want it to look like I made it, that no one else is gonna have it. So, unless you guys do it, in which case we'll all have the same wreath. But I'm gonna take him and I'm gonna sew him to the top. I have my sewing needle and I'm just going to impale his ghostly little head. I feel like there's less happening up here, so I'm gonna make that the top of the wreath and put him up at the top. I am sewing him onto this wreath, but the day after Halloween, I can just clip him off with some scissors, and all of a sudden, it's no longer spooky season. It's back to autumnal vibes, back to Thanksgiving vibes. And that way my wreath has done double duty. I don't like having decor that can't transition well. You'll see, at Christmas, a lot of my decor transitions right into winter. Lots of evergreens in terms of branches and things like that. Lots of silver and gold. There he is, peeking out from the trees. I don't know why I said that, but there he is peeking out from the wreath. Remember the bats from the very beginning that I cut out painstakingly? Yeah, I'm gonna put them on here to tie the outside to what's happening on the inside. Then I'm gonna hang them on the front door. I'm gonna use the last of the ribbon that I've been using for all those DIYs with the lamps. And then we've got our spooky wreath. In addition to thrifting that wreath, I also thrifted some black candles. So I'm going to pop a couple of these in and style up all of the DIYs that we've done. Do you hear Coco? Hi, Coco. That was her shaking. I'm gonna style everything and show you what it looks like. My house at Halloween. In a previous video, I told you that I wanted to make a fall garland and I wanted to show you the before and after for the new wingback chair, but I ran out of time. I want to say a special thank you to all the friends who have been commenting to give me advice about cleaning the chair and fixing my Brimfield painting. You have no idea how much I appreciate you guys. I want to try your methods and film it so you can see what worked. I hope all the tips work, to be honest. Wait till you see how much gunk came off of it when I cleaned the chair with the Bissell Little Green. It was really gross. I'm doing a Thanksgiving thrift and planning some Thanksgiving DIYs, including one with pine cones, so I'll circle back to the armchair and the garland in that video. If you like thrifting, interior design, and DIY, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks for watching. I'm leaving you with some bloopers and outtakes, including some Coco content. See you next week. Oh, I hope to have finally finished Ed's entryway video. Bye. Hey, Are you gonna get up and show people your costume? Do you hate it? You hate it. Come on, Koki. Come on, Mama. She hates it. I printed out a bunch of, hello. I printed out a bunch of bats. We don't live there. Come on. Look, there's a ghost. It has been, there's New York. I'm gonna pause for sirens. Do you think it's over? Do you think it's over? Should we start? Can we start filming? Okay. I'm gonna wait for New York. I'm waiting for New York. Oh, look how cute he looks. He's so cute. Go on, be a bat. Go. Look at me.